Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
Kyle Whittingham and the Utes hit the road to Waco for a showdown against Baylor. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Yeah, he's even more deadlier. Now he has more experience. He understands the offense. You see him making checks. He's just a veteran now. You see in the way he distributes the ball to all different receivers, the way that they run the ball, the way that he reads RPOs. And I mean, he's a really good quarterback, coached really well. This isn't going to be easy, but we're going to have to find ways to be better than we were against him the first time around. And we get to have him at home, which is going to be helpful for us.
TCU is just a great program. They have been for years. I had a bunch of good battles with those guys when I coached up the road, and I know BYU's had a bunch of good battles with them over the years. 2 years ago, we had a pretty humbling loss down there. We know what we're in for Saturday. We know this is a good football team, a well-coached team, and they're tough and they're super athletic, and we're expecting it to be a really tough game.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Kalani Sitake, Aaron Roderick. It's your Cougar Preview Show. Tomorrow we'll have your Ute Preview Show, and then Friday, Ron McBride, Alema Harrington stop by for a Football Friday. But joining us now, not only is the voice of the TCU Horned Frogs, he's one hell of a dude, too. Brian Estridge, kind enough to join us. Brian, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Estridge.
I feel like it's my 5-year anniversary that you guys call me once every 5 years. It's sort of, and now I've figured out that it's based strictly on Scotty's colonoscopy schedule. So every 5 years, Scotty goes in, they check the driveway, for any potholes, and then I get the phone call to come on the show. So
that is a good reminder.
So just whatever. Hey, Scotty, by the way, if you don't mind, save a polyp for my necklace. If you don't.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
You got it.
Yeah, appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, when they're digging those things loose, we'll make sure to. I'll make sure to. It's like your kid's macaroni necklace they make. I'll get something for
what
you.
I'm looking for. Yeah, save one for me, my man.
What's crazy is they found 3 pearls, which is it's unique.
Nice. Exactly. My man's an oyster. He's asexual. Nice job.
Well, I tell you what, you dig deep enough, and it sure felt like it. They'll go find all kinds of stuff.
Exactly.
Hey, we're all about men's health here. All about men's health.
Exactly.
It's all awareness.
That's what we're all about. You got to go. I'm glad you went, Scotty. Mine is actually scheduled. I'll be honest with you. Mine is scheduled for January. I think it's the 4th, something like that. So, in fact, if you guys want to go ahead and book me, I'll do the show that day.
There you go.
Yeah, and maybe I can do the play-by-play of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brian, we're doing well out here. Kind of licking wounds. Texas Tech wasn't real friendly, so I think the Cougars are licking wounds, trying to get ready for the Horned Frogs.
I think that's the same for TCU. I mean, you guys ran into a buzzsaw. I mean, that's the best team money could buy in Lubbock right now. They're playing well. It's a great atmosphere when they've got it going out there. I totally get that. I know that TCU knows they're about to walk into a buzzsaw there in Provo. The atmosphere is going to be phenomenal. Night game. Weather's going to be, in favor of BYU. So I think but this is what this time of year is all about. And I mean, we're down to 3 or 4 games in the regular season, and folks want to see these kind of atmospheres. We want games that matter. And I really believe that this game matters. It matters. I know it matters for TCU for several different reasons, not the least of which is the psyche of this group and momentum for this program. But listen, there's still a lot of football for BYU to be played. You guys just on the outside looking in as far as the playoff is concerned. That every one of these games from here on out is essentially a playoff game for BYU.
You look at TCU, and there's been a couple of head-scratchers, losing to Kansas State. But that Iowa State game, Brian, that's the one I have a hard time wrapping my brain around.
Yeah, but then all you got to do is look at the 3 losses, and you look at it, all 3 of them had 3 turnovers in it. And Sonny Dykes preaches that every week. You can't turn the ball over in the Big 12. I mean, you just look at the numbers over the years. If you take care of the football, you got a really good chance to win the game. And TCU didn't do it in their losses, and so because of that, that's where what they're staring down. Josh Hoover had a couple of picks last week against Iowa State, and you had the fumble late. I mean, this was after you were up 17-6 and seemingly in control, but there was a 100-second stretch there where TCU gives up a score, goes 3 and out, punts, and then they run it back for a score. And all of a sudden the game just totally flipped. Now, you got the ball back, you're driving downfield, and you hate to fault a young kid who's giving you extra effort on a carry and has the ball punched out from behind. But, that's a mistake that you can't make, and especially at that time of the game. And so, yeah, those are kind of head scratchers, as you said, hard to explain. But both those teams, let's don't lose sight of this. Both those teams are still quality physical football teams. Kansas State, you think is maybe righted the ship a little bit. Iowa State was picked by many to win the league. There's still talent on that team. So, there's a reason why we play them, right? Because they're not all gimmies, or none of them are gimmies in this league for sure, and you don't know until you play them. And Frogs come up on short end a couple of times.
So, what kind of character is this team? I guess it's one of the angles that you'd look at to see how they respond going to 3 losses in conference, and feeling like you got to have at least 2 losses to be in the conversation. So maybe they feel like they're dropping out of the conversation for a Big 12 championship, and the gut wrencher against Iowa State. What kind of team are they, Brian? What kind of resolve do you think they'll come in with?
I'm anxious to see, Hans. I really am. I think that I think we're all going to learn a lot about this group on Saturday. Now, I know at practice this week they've been spirited. We talked to Nambi Izor yesterday, the linebacker, who said, "Listen, we're not down on ourselves. We're not sitting here pouting about anything. We know that there are problems that we got to correct and we've got to get better at, and that's what we're trying to do." And so, I think also the fact that this is a ranked team that TCU plays, first ranked team they played this year, I think that means a little something to them, that they still want to be able to prove that, hey, TCU is one of the elite teams in the Big 12, and so you've got that to cope with. But I'm anxious to see. I don't know that I can answer that for you right now. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that we know how this team is going to respond, because they haven't been in a situation like this. Because you do think after the second loss, okay, you still got a chance to get in there. You just got to win out. Now, this probably eliminates any opportunity, as you said, for a Big 12 championship. But listen, there's still a lot of football to be played, and I know it's playoff or bust now. This will be a first. I've never agreed with Eli Drinkwitz on anything, but I do think he's right in his quote that if we make it all about the playoff and only 12 teams get to experience, what do you do with the 120 that don't? I mean, does that just mean y'all suck? No, I don't think so. We got to kind of change the mentality a little bit on that front as well. And hey, the three of us know the importance of bowl games and the experience that they are. And I think we have to continue to highlight, the bowl experience and what it means to teams and the programs.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the ability of this team to continue to get pressure from the front line? Because I'm looking at the sack totals, linebacker, safety. There's an edge, linebacker, but not a lot from the D line from for your sack totals.
Yeah, but this is that's not where they try to get them from. I mean, it's not really an edge guy that you go. Devin Deal would be the one guy who can pressure the quarterback, but the rest of them are more stabilizers, run game guys, things of that nature. They want their linebackers and safeties and Devin Deal to be the guys who are getting pressure on the quarterback. And when Andy Avalos dials that up, they've been successful. I mean, he has some really nice exotic blitzes that he brings on occasion that have worked for this team. I think for the most part, Scotty, that this defense has played good enough. I think that has not been the issue for the Horned Frogs. It's not as if they've gotten blown out of football games. To me, the issue has been the turnovers, and when you put your defense out there multiple times with short fields and things of that nature, I mean, you got to trace it back to that. So I think defensively this team is okay, and they've been solid against the run too. You look at what they did to West Virginia when they hold them to 41 yards or whatever. Then West Virginia the next week goes out and throws a big number on Houston. So I think there's, I think the defense is okay. Now, have they seen anything like they're going to see from BYU's rushing attack? No. I mean, and we know the quality of the offensive line for the Cougars. So I think it'll be a nice test to see what these guys are made out of.
I got to know Andy a little bit when he was at Boise State, and I've always been kind of a big fan of his. Has that been a pretty good transition with him slipping in there?
Yeah, and I tell you, year two has been a big difference too. I mean, the fact that these guys kind of know the system now. They're playing a lot faster, not having to think about things as much. It's freed up guys like Bud Clark, who had 2 interceptions last week. He's got 15 picks in his career now. I mean, the linebackers are playing really well. Caleb Elarm-Zor has been in double-digit tackles the last 3 weeks. He had back-to-back 16 tackle weeks, prior to last week. So I mean, I think those guys are playing fast. Again, I think the defense hasn't been the problem. The problem has been at times, third down, just getting teams off the field. But I think that, again, I'll go back that at the end of the year we do the postmortem. I think the defense will be a very short conversation.
Has anybody been able to slow down Eric McAllister that you've seen?
That's a good question. I mean, the thing about him is Hans, is that he is a more physical wide receiver than people think. You look at him and he's a speedster and he's tall and he's kind of lanky. But, I mean, look at his yards after catch. And I know you dive deep into those PFFs because you don't have a life. Now, you look at those PFF numbers, and I mean, look at his yards after catch. He's up at like 400 yards now after catch. I mean, he just does not go down on first contact. So he's a lot stronger than you think. He's a gutsy wide receiver. He'll go over the middle and make the grab. Everybody uses the same lingo now. You talk about the 50-50 ball. I don't think it's a 50-50 ball with Eric McAllister when you throw the fade to him. I think it's more like 65-35. I think you've got a real advantage with him out there. So, yeah, he's a good player. They got to get some more guys involved, though. And they've been kind of thin at wide receiver. You're going to see a couple of new faces, I think, this week that are getting some time, some young guys. But, really it's just been he and Jordan Dwyer have kind of been the steady guys to transfer from Idaho. Those have been the two guys that you think of back there at wide receiver. And I think it's time to get some more guys involved in the offense.
When BYU started throwing some money around, it obviously prompted Utah to try to find as much as they could to try to keep pace. Is that going on with what is going on with Texas Tech and Texas A&M, where everybody else is like, oh boy, we got to find a way to tap into some reserves if we want to keep pace with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's keeping pace to those guys. I mean, I don't know if there's a room for 12 drunken sailors in Texas. 2 might be enough. And, I just think it's really, really hard right now. And I'm anxious to see what kind of guardrails are put up on this because, this can't continue the way it is. I mean, it is literally the best team money could buy. And, it's disheartening as a college football fan for me. And I know I got to give it times. You guys are going to say I'm an old fogey or whatever, but it's not what I signed up for. And I just think that in the long run, we're doing a lot more bad than we are good for the sport and for these players.
It's just going to be interesting to see also Sonny Dykes and just his progression, his movement. They love him there, right? I mean, let's say things don't finish strong.
But you know how fans are, Hans. I mean, they love you till they hate you, and fans have short memories. I mean, 2022 and Sonny Dykes had this team in the national championship game. I mean, come on, and you know how hard that is to do. I mean, that was the thing, is that I don't think people realize how difficult that is to do. And for him to be able to do that in his first year, I may have told you guys this. I think we were 7 or 8-0 that year, and Mac Brown called Sonny Dykes, and Sonny answered the phone. He said, "Hey, Coach." And Mac Brown said, "Hey, son, you might want to mix in a loss, my man, because the expectation that you're creating." Is unrealistic, and I thought that you looking back on it, it's actually really good advice from Mac, because now if you go, and it goes back to the conversation we were having earlier with Jan Drinkowicz's comment. I mean, if you're not 11-1 and in the college football playoff, it's as if it's a bad year, and everyone can't be winners. I mean, this is not Little League football where Hans got a trophy as a 7-year-old weighing 212 pounds. It's not going to. It's not like that, It's everybody doesn't get a trophy in college football, and so again, I'm anxious to see how this team responds. I'm anxious to see how these fans react. And I'm anxious to see what the investment looks like in the future and what college football looks like in the future and where we all stand, you know.
Hey, by the way, I got a rebuke from Brian last night. He was asking for some restaurants, and I put a sushi restaurant on there. That did not go over well with Brian.
Oh, man.
Well, listen, I'm just going to tell you that here's the problem. So, Scotty, I'm going to be honest with you, buddy. You are my go-to guy, but look at Hans. Hans is always my first guy when it comes to food. And so
as he should be.
I hit Hans up with a place, and he sends me a chain Mexican place from Texas. And I'm like,
it's our fajita place.
That, Hans. Yeah,
I knew it was a chain. I knew it was out of Houston.
Utah. Yeah,
but it's different.
Going to Utah to eat
better.
at a Houston restaurant, you know? If I come to Utah, I want some good Utah food. I want a good local hangout, you know? And so I said, I'm going to hit up my man Scotty, and he hits me with a sushi place. And I'm like, what the heck?
We're not the hotbed for food here, Brian.
Obviously. What do you guys just eat wheat? I mean, come on. Is it just cream of wheat every night?
Are you willing to drive an hour? Because we'll send you to Bar Dubs in Nephi. It's a
now,
unique.
Bar Dubs, I've heard about it. I've seen you guys talk about it. That's beef, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good quality stuff there. Okay, 2 out of the 3 I would highly recommend. The sushi you can take off the list. The other 2 will be good. I promise.
Okay, good. Well, good, because the second one, when I push back on Hands on the Texas-based Mexican spot, he goes, "Oh, well, then you got to go to Ruby River and get the jacketed potato." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!"
Oh, man,
is this where we're headed now?
Well, there's this really good mom and pop Italian place called Olive Garden that I think you'll really like.
Try the breadsticks. Yeah,
honestly,
try the breadsticks.
I was going to send you to our local, like our hot spot barbecue joint is Kenny J's. But Kenny J's is classic Texas. So it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man.
What is Utah food? If I said, okay, I want to eat Utah food.
Like
other
a roast.
Fry sauce, what is it?
Probably just a good old roast and potatoes and maybe
funeral potatoes
and some funeral potatoes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll just try to find those.
Hey, and to be able to get my side here, Brian did say keep the meals under $10. So I was like,
you know what's funny? He did say don't break the bank with me too.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm trying to find a $10 meal.
Because the last time I took Hands to dinner in Vegas, the bill was like $700.
Oh, that got wild.
Yes, it did.
But Landry didn't help the cause. But it did get wild.
That is for sure. But I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this receipt? You know, how am I hiding this one listed as headphones purchased or something?
We've all gotten a little loosey-goosey with the expense report. We know what that's like.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, the last time I was at Ruby River, I couldn't park the car because there were so many strollers out front. So I'm trying to figure out what to do this time.
Oh, that's funny.
That's the case, man. Minivans and strollers, brother.
Brian, you're the best, man.
Fellas, always good. Glad you got the colonoscopy out of the way, Scotty.
Yep.
We'll see you on game day.
Exactly. Let me know what the OBGYN says.
Oh, and there you go. Estridge not leaving without a parting shot.
Hopping up in those stirrups, and I'll let you know how that works out. Oh, man.
Oh, he said save a polyp for my necklace. Wow. You know you're going to get some entertaining stuff when you get Brian Estridge on.
Yeah. We're not quite the Ticket in Dallas simulcast, but
we learned our lesson there.
No, well, not even the first time when we went round 2.
Round 2 really got us. Luckily, we weren't under the umbrella that we currently are.
I know. After this morning, that definitely wouldn't have flown.
Oh boy.
All right, Hans and Scotty. Right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Elite game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. The Cougars return home for a battle against TCU. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Woo!
Welcome on back, your Cougar Preview Show right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, hanging out here at the Back Nine in right next to Costco in Orem. Just a beautiful facility, and it is totally worth your while. Come on down here and take advantage of some of the savings that are going on right now and check out this beautiful facility.
Oh, it's awesome.
So
and
cool.
it's fun because, these are all a bunch of BYU guys that former players that have come together. Like Ray Finga came down, Jason Spearden, names that you remember.
Hey, was there like a shoe swap? What happened there?
Yeah. So you saw I had a nice pair of shoes on.
Yeah.
And Jason Spearden, former BYU offensive lineman, put his big old paw across my neck and said, I think I'll have those shoes.
Wow.
So I said, okay.
And by the way, middle of the segment, Lloyd, Hans and Jason swap shoes. So now you're rocking these high tops.
I've got the Reebok high tops with the old classic pump. So it's
No way. I was going to say, wait, what?
If it was a classic pump, that would have been a quick trade. But I've got a high top Reebok, and he liked the shoe I had on. So I gave him.
You mean like that old school 80s Reebok high top?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got an old school feel to it. I love the shoes. I think you won in that trade.
It's got the white, black, and purple laces, Lloyd, that are really cool. So I've got. He goes. Well, first he said, "What
they got
size
kind of
are
a
those?"
British Knights look to them.
And I said, "Yeah, British Knights." He said, "What size are those?" I said, "They're 15." He goes, "I think I'll have those."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay."
I don't see. Look, there's not a lot of times where Hans actually somebody tells him something and Hans hops to it, and that happened.
Jason's a beast.
Yeah.
No, he's a beast. That was such a good offensive line. That was a Bronco Mendenhall offensive line. Ray Finga, remember they had Matt Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
That was the beast of all beasto lines at BYU. So it's fun to see those guys. And then remember tonight, 7 to 9, you're going to have a bunch of current BYU football players down here. So come down to the grand opening. Just see what this new place is all about. Beautiful high-def screens. 61 different courses you can play, great memberships, membership where you have 24/7 access. You could come at 2 o'clock in the morning with 5 or 6 buddies, come on in and just have an amazing round of golf. And, through the winter too, because we're just on the edge of winter. Winter's going to hit. Courses are shut down. You want to keep golfing? Well, you've got it right here. And it's in the parking lot of Costco, right by the Costco gas station area here in Orem. Come down and check things out.
All right, so real quickly, I know that there's a lot of people that are concerned about injuries. L.J. Martin played, but what was really interesting is seeing your linebackers look pretty good in that game.
Yeah, they did.
Jack Kelly in particular looked phenomenal.
All three of them looked a lot better, and so I expect Glasgow, Isera, and Kelly to all be cranking 90, 95% against TCU. Because I think all of them got out unscathed. So I'm expecting a lot from those linebackers. I'm also expecting L.J. Martin to be back. Aaron Roderick was asked post-practice yesterday, and Roderick said, yeah, L.J. got out of the game unscathed. So we should see him with another week of healing. You know what I'm excited to see? You had a couple of guys come back for the first game against Texas Tech that now they get a couple of weeks under their belt. They've got some confidence going. Raider DeMooney with the big pass breakup at the safety position, currently listed behind Falatal Satawala, but now he's got that game of experience after coming back from his injury. So I expect Raider DeMooney to be a big help and continue to fight to get his starting position back. And then JoJo Phillips, it was his first game back, and he had that first game back feel and vibe with that drop.
Yeah.
That drop, man, comes at a critical point in the game where you needed to put a drive together. It would have been caught at a 15-yard gain and probably turned into a 20 to 25-yard gain as he was able to turn up the sideline. Hit him right in the hands, perfect strike, great pass by Bear Bachmeier, and it hits the floor. And you put your palm on your forehead and you're like, oh, no, it was a heartbreaker. I don't think JoJo's going to do that again. So having JoJo with some experience and back, that's going to add to the depth of the receiving room. And I'll wait for the report tonight, the initial report coming out tonight.
Yeah. Yep.
But you couldn't ask for much more for BYU right now.
No.
The bye week helped get guys back. They made it. Yeah, Texas Tech beat them up, but they made it through the Texas Tech game, and things look good. So I am anticipating a very nice victory over TCU. They're a better team. They're playing better football right now. And I expect them to get a nice dominant win at home on an 8:15 kick on ESPN in LaVell Edwards Stadium.
Final thoughts on this game coming up next. Hans and Scotty, this is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.